this responsibility that most of the budget should be going from them. There was some gossip that that they were not expecting us to win on the first try. So when they heard that we won, of course they were happy, celebrating, but also surprised and also a little bit challenged that now this budget should go on this year. And they were not so much prepared, but they had to do something because the decision was made before. They were expecting or not expecting, it was not under discussion anymore, of course. So they were also interested to help us in cooperation with the private sector. And thank you, Jan, for reminding that we were partnered by the biggest bank as well. And the state was also involved when we were talking with the private sector in like promoting the importance of this project, because there was their interest as well to find co-partners in this part in finances. So it was not only a bank, there were a few other organizations in smaller projects from the organizers to find in each case some reasons to go to the specific companies from the private sector and to convince them why this project, supporting this project will be like useful for them as well, and how they will be promoted in this project as a partners. It's a lot of work, and we had the marketing team there working on this, and specifically people who were working on sponsorship. Well, it worked because, you know, it's a huge project. When you say that UNESCO gave to Tbilisi the status of the world book capital, and the whole world, the whole publishing and literary world will be looking at us as the center of publishing industry on this year, it's already a good reason for people to be interested, to be part of it. So of course, as we were backed by UNESCO, it helped us a lot to talk to our civilians in the country, from the different organizations. So, every project has a challenge, of course. Every project can't be done, such a huge project can't be done without challenges. But at the end it worked. We had a lot of nice people around us, and a lot of people were trying to help and to share something from this huge celebration. And you know, it was a pandemic time, and it was a miracle that in the pandemic we could have such a big book celebration. Yeah, this is how it worked.
Thank you. Maybe two elements to that. I think the success, really, part of the success is on the professionalism. And I think that Vincent mentioned that. Have a good team on board and have a good team of professionals. So, for example, Strasbourg, which is World Book Capital this year, they had a full program and they had an ambition for a certain level of finance from the private sector and from the government. Finally, they got 30% more finance than they had counted on, and so they are managing to put into place 30% more activity. So when you have a good team, including a marketing team, a team of social media, it gives you the means to leverage the title, the name of UNESCO, and to get this kind of support that you need to bring about the activities. The second point I want to add to that, and I think this is something I didn't expect, but which happens nearly systematically, is making new connections. So I remember a colleague from Kuala Lumpur saying to me, and he's from the Publishers Association in Kuala Lumpur, who won the title just before Tbilisi. He said to me, you know, we have never spoken to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we've never spoken to the Ministry of Education, we've never spoken to the local government. When they won the prize, it was the first time that these people started working together, and they're still working together. So I think that's really an added value for all parties that get involved in the project, because the publishers, the booksellers, the librarians, the authors, they all have to start talking to each other, and they all have to start talking to the officials who will help them win the prize. So I think that is something which happens systematically, sometimes naturally, sometimes it's a forced friendship. But I think in the long term, it's something that stays and enables the publishers and the government to work together to help promote, not just for the publishers, but promoting books and reading more generally. So I think that's an important point. Other questions from the floor? Go ahead.
You said before that there are some cities that apply many times before being for the book capital, like Sharjah or Naija. Is there like a maximum number of attempts to get disqualified, or one can just work application more and more?
Being disqualified is a strong word. We don't disqualify anybody. There's no limit. I think that Sharjah proved that there's no limit. I mean, if they had kept going for 20 years, that's their choice. The limit is how do you finance those, because to make that application. So there's no limit on that, definitely not. So thank you. Merci beaucoup tout le monde pour être là pour aujourd'hui. Merci aussi pour les qui ont aidé à mettre en place le stand et toutes les présentations. Et si vous avez besoin de plus d'informations, comme je vous ai dit, plus de présentations, il y a un site Wikipédia sur World Book Capital, il y a un site sur le site de l'UNESCO aussi, et je vous invite à regarder le stand. Il n'y a pas que de présentation, il y a toute la partie de l'édition de l'UNESCO que je vous invite à regarder et visiter. Merci beaucoup tout le monde, merci Vincent. J'espère que vous allez partir avec plus d'informations que nous avec. Merci beaucoup.
It is closely related to other intangible heritage, such as horseback riding, oral history, traditional games and festivals. Communities of backgrounds from different regions of the country learn from each other's experiences and share their knowledge. The Persian tradition of exploring those areas of heritage also roots. Its practice must continue as an oral tradition. Its quality and knowledge must be celebrated and appreciated. Its place in future conservation must be maintained. That may only be a small part of mankind's role in sustaining our planet, but one that is central to the basic tenet of UNESCO's Convention and one worth protecting for future generations. Not in a museum, but alive and in the countryside as it's developed. Over time, the fortune has been passed down to corresponding ancestors.
غتصوروا عشيه وغتفطروا راسكم. تتساووا قبل الجمعه يمكن ترجعوا ان شاء الله. وتقريبا ترجعوا ان شاء الله. ترجعوا من كونفيرنس فرنسا سير لاصق.
rights awareness. Navigating the fine line between free speech and hate speech isn't easy, but in the interests of protecting human rights for all, we can and must work together more intensively to address the problem, without silencing free expression and the benefits it has for democracy, development and human rights.
L'IA doit être inclusive en matière de genre. Quelle forme d'intelligence artificielle connaissez-vous? Alexa, Siri, Cortana? Toutes ont des noms féminins, mais ont été développées essentiellement par des hommes. L'IA est un miroir des inégalités hommes-femmes. En 2018, 85% des développeurs dans les technologies de l'IA